Hi, this is Mike from Rock and Load, and I have the pleasure today of talking to Snake from the legendary Skid Row. Pleased to meet you again.
Pleased to meet you again too. A bit more sober this time, aren't you?
Yes, this time I am.
Me too.
Yes, you know, I remember it well. Right, you're in the middle of a 10-day tour, and this time you've gone for towns that you haven't visited before. How's it going in those towns that are new to you?
It's something that we're very conscious of putting together when we talked about coming back over here. This whole year has been about a lot of new experiences for the band, playing different venues and different festivals that we've never done before. We've been around 25 years touring, like really, you know, touring the world since 1989. We started January of '89, and so 25 years later, to have these new experiences of that we never had in the past it's inspiring and it's humbling, and it makes you really happy to be able to get up and play every day and you get to do this for a living. Remember when we first were talking about this, Rachel had brought up a good point about saying, you know, let's go to cities where no one goes to, because especially in this day and age where time is people don't have the luxury of time anymore. Funds are short, you know, and so it's not easy for fans and people who want to go see shows to travel 2 hours to a major city and all the cost that's involved. And for us, we're going to cities and towns that we've never been to before, so it's equally as exciting for us. And it kind of, for me personally, it brings me back to like when I was growing up and discovering a new wave of British heavy metal, and as in import records with, you know, looking at the back of the first Iron Maiden album and seeing, you know, those guys that looked like they were in a pub, you know, like, and that was right, and that was inspiring to me. And the same thing with like the back of the first Def Leppard record. And so when we play places like that, it's really, this is the essence and the spirit of music and rock and roll. These are the people that live and breathe it, and obviously we do too. So I'm sure that we're going to do more of things like this in the future. Again, as we said before on camera, I'm just blown away that we still get to do this, that we're afforded the privilege of playing music every day.
Definitely. You've got the 2 EPs of the trilogy out so far. The third of the trilogy will be probably next year.
Yeah, it'll definitely be next year. We're not quite sure yet. We don't plan that far ahead. Rachel and I will get together in January, start writing some stuff, and see where that brings us, and then keep touring a little bit, I'm sure. But we would like to get it out sooner than later, so it'll definitely be out next year. Hopefully the middle to, you know, summer to late summer maybe.
Excellent. You do 4 songs off the 2 EPs on this tour.
Yeah.
Don't you? How was the crowd reaction to the new songs?
I think that with people, it's been really good. It's been really good because the songs have really good grooves, you know. So whether you're familiar with them or not, it forces you to kind of just pop your head up and down, and you know, makes your body move, and that's what music is supposed to do. So the response has been great. We can't ask for anything more than what we've been able to get out of the audience, to be honest. You know, communicating this day and age is actually all the social media that's available to everybody. It's even more difficult to communicate to people and get visibility and let people know that you have new music and stuff out there because of all the traffic that's out there. So we find that the best way for us to do it is to bring it right to, you know, people's faces. And that's where we made our reputation on being a really good live band, and we realize that we have an obligation to the audience, and we have to be on our best every night because they paid money to see you, man. They decided that, you know, they could do anything in the world, but they decided they were going to come see Skid Row tonight. So they forked out the money and they made the plans and got babysitters and did whatever they had to do to get here to see the band. Man, that's pretty awesome, and that's a high compliment. So you have to respect that, and we do.
I've seen videos on YouTube from this tour and from your tour of the States and from Europe, and you are just as tight as ever.
Thanks.
I can't compliment high.
Well, it's because we enjoy it. It's because we really do, like, literally, really enjoy what we do.
Yeah. I mean, We Are the Damned, which is the first track on chapter 2. It's got a very anthemic sound. Is that what's coming across when you play live?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what it feels like on stage, and that's, I guess that's all you can go by. It seems like it's translating to the audience. Again, just to everybody's heads moving and bodies moving, that's what you want to accomplish and affect them in a positive way, and I think that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
Johnny's now been in the band for 14 years, and yet he's still, I think, probably he's perceived as the new guy.
Yeah. That's amusing, actually.
How do you change that perception? Is it just through hard work and stuff?
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's, again, if we got bogged down in that, who knows if that would be upsetting or not. We just go out and we just continue to be a band. It's always, Skid Row has always been a band, and regardless of who's singing or who's playing the drums, we're a band. You know, Rachel and I started this thing in 1986. Scotty joined shortly thereafter, and that will always be the core of the band. And now we, you know, Johnny's been in the band longer than Sebastian has, you know, and so the only way to do it is by continually touring and going out there and just making quality music that people feel good about listening to, and also being respectful of the legacy of what we've created in the past. And I think that we do that. Johnny's very mindful of how important those songs are, and he does them, he's very respectful towards them. And they're fun songs to play. So we're proud of the whole 25-year history of the band. And we understand our audience, they want to hear music, they want to hear music and stuff like that. So we have to be respectful of those songs, and I love playing them as well.
I mean, going back to like tying it with the new songs as well, you've got songs on both chapters that sound fantastic live, what you only played before.
Yeah.
Is that to be respectful to the back catalogue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you know what? If we went out there and didn't play You've Got a While, I remember, or Hurricane Lane or something like that, people would probably be pretty upset, you know, because they want to hear those songs. And I get that, you know, I understand that. You know, when I go see Iron Maiden, I want to hear Number of the Beast, you know, I want to hear Iron Maiden, you know, the song Iron Maiden. If I went to see Iron Maiden and didn't hear that song, I'd be like, that's weird, you know. So you have to be mindful of that, and we are. And again, I think we strike a really good balance between older and new, and make it fun for everyone. And I think also the fact that our newer songs, like We Are the Damned or Kings of Demolition, pretty much fit seamlessly in with you know, what could be Unsafe Grind or whatever. And so it just feels normal, natural. Yeah, nothing's forced.
You're also a band that's renowned for doing cover versions.
Yeah.
You've done, I mean, on the new EPs, you've covered Judas Priest, EZO, you've done Aerosmith and Queen, and on your older albums, you've covered Strength by Your Lab. It's fantastic.
Right.
Do you get feedback from those fans that you cover?
Well, I mean, Rachel has a story about when we did psychotherapy at Beside Herself, and Joey Ramone sent you a letter or a picture?
He called me.
He called you?
And then they signed a poster of their new album cover, Mondo Bizarro.
Right.
And he wrote, great fucking version, and then in parentheses, of psychotherapy.
So yeah, it's stuff like that, and we've had back in when we did Come On and Love Me, and we got Ace compliment, as Paul did actually. I even think Gene said something nice about us.
Actually, Johnny Ramone said in the interview that was their first gold record they ever got, is when we, that Beside Ourselves, went gold.
Oh, wow.
Sent them a gold record.
Wow.
That blew my mind so much.
Yeah, it blows my mind, and it kind of sucks too, in a sense. It's great for us. They should have had 1 billion gold records. Anyway.
Absolutely, of course you should. Got the t-shirt on tonight.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, absolutely, of course you should. I was lucky enough, I'm old enough, and I was lucky enough to have been at, I think it was your first ever gig in the UK, Milton Keynes Bowl.
Yeah.
When you supported Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
I think that was a pivotal gig in your career.
Oh, yeah.
And also the 2010 Hard Rock Hell that I was at, where Scotty fell off stage. Another pivotal gig in your career.
Sure.
Are there any other gigs that you can remember that were like a turning point in your career?
Oh man, there's been quite a few. I think doing the whole KISS tour in 2000 was monumental on a number of different levels. Johnny had been in the band 6 weeks at that point, maybe even less, and to be able to go out and do a full U.S. Canadian tour with essentially the band that forced you to get into music in the first place was euphoric, and so that was huge. That was huge. We played a show this year in Poland, the Polish Woodstock Festival, and again this year has been filled with monumental shows for us in a sense that we had never done these things. We had never played the Polish Woodstock Festival, and it was nearly 500,000 people.
Did you headline?
We co-headlined with Volbeat, and to us, we were looking out on stage, and Rachel and I look at each other, and we've got these smiles that are from ear to ear, and we're like children again. Because the enormity of it was mind-boggling and incomprehensible, and you just could not see the end of the sea of people.
You just can't comprehend 500,000
It's just beyond our scope, and I have a hard enough time counting to 10. So, but it was really something, because after 25 years to be able to do something on a level like that was really, for us, it just made you proud. That something that we had helped create all those years ago was still existing, but thriving. And then we got to do Vodka the next day, and then when we played Hellfest this year, we played Download this year. So all these things, in a way, are pivotal in the sense that you sit there and you're able to realize that what you do is still vital on some level, and that these songs, that what you dreamed of doing when you were a 15-year-old kid with a guitar in front of a mirror, what you dreamed of doing is actually a reality. Like, this is what you do, man. The songs that you've helped create have affected people on a level that I never could have imagined, and we only hoped for. And so, it's numbing sometimes to think that how long we've been doing this for, and that we're still doing it to that level. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
And going back to the early days, you had a #1 with Slave to the Grind. Do you ever think that a rock band, a heavy rock band, could have that success again? In these days, it's more pop, it's more R&B, it's more X Factor, Pop Idol.
Yeah.
It's being shoved down your throats.
Oh, I mean, they've diluted. Those shows have diluted what songwriting and music is about. On one level, it shows great songs being played, but I think what the audience gets out of it more is not the great songs are being sung, but the idea that a person can just go out and sing and become a pop star, and not really realizing that writing a great song is an art form. And that's not to say that being a great singer isn't. It is, but there's more to it, and it can't be cookie cutter. And that's kind of what those shows have succeeded in diluting the power of writing great music, in a sense. I wish that the songs that they sang in those shows, that they showcased the songwriters as well, that they made mention of that, and then so people would realize that there's people behind these familiar songs that they're singing.
I mean, you've had it yourself, like Carrie Underwood did I Remember You.
Yeah,
didn't she?
what a great tribute. I mean, she did a great job of it, and it was, humbling, to say the least. But she did it, and she's also a songwriter, and she's a great performer, and I have a lot of respect for her. I had respect for her before she did that anyway. So, but I don't think that those things are realistic anymore in the world of music. First of all, everything is going to streaming services and stuff. So the idea of a #1 selling rock record is, I think a thing of the past. I mean, the way people deliver music and the way it's monetized and distributed it's completely different. And so the gauges are completely different. I mean, Johnny had brought something up in the bus yesterday that this year not one artist has had a million-selling record in the United States. Coldplay came in closest, apparently, but the only thing that's sold over 1 million records is the soundtrack to the movie Frozen. And so that's just a clear indication that we are in a different time, and that's okay. We don't lament the past. You have to adapt and navigate through what's thrown at you, and that's what we do. And hence the reason why we're releasing EPs. You don't want to over inundate people with too much music because they just don't have the time. We don't have the luxury of time. No one has the ability anymore to sit down for an hour with their headphones on and experience a new record, and that sucks. But that's life. People are working 3 times as hard for 1/3 of the money these days. It's just a different economical landscape, and people just don't have that luxury anymore. Plus, we're being just bombarded by information from every angle, and there's a great thing to be said about technology and people being able to create music in their room and stuff like that. But I just wish that people, and this is a blanket statement, I guess, would put more of a premium on the quality of the songwriting. Like, make every effort you can to be great. And we were lucky in the sense that early on, we already had a fervent work ethic instilled in us by our families, the way we grew up and stuff like that. Lower middle class, blue collar, hardcore. And luckily enough, we had people surrounding us that would sit there and listen to our music and go, "That's good, but it's not great. Make it great, okay? Go back to the drawing board until 8 in the morning, and then you got to go to work in an hour, okay? It's so close, but it's not great yet." So that gets put in your mind.
Have you still got people like that now, or is it you?
Us. Well, it's us, because that's through all that toil, we realize that's, just the right way to go. You really have to sit there
and I think this interview could be much better. Make it great.
That's not going to happen.
Right, I'm on it. Come on.
It's too far gone now. Yeah, we were really fortunate like that. And I don't know, and again, the word gatekeepers is a poisonous word to a certain degree. But there were people out there who, I'll use the term gatekeepers, who would sit there and really, really just push you, maybe further than...
That's one, sorry, interrupting, that's one theory I've got, like with the X Factor type thing. You get Simon Cowell behind these bands that's pushing them. When he's had enough of them, that's it, he'll let them go. You had Doc McGee, who kept with you, and all the other guys who kept with you and pushed you. That's why you had a #1 Slave to the Grind. That's why you're where you are now.
But the thing is, and the thing was, and still is that, a great song is a great song. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's so important to us. Like, we will work and work on something until we just finally get to the point where, like, this is as good or great as we can make this right now. It's not going to get any better. If we go further, we may be ruining this thing. So, and we do that with every song, and then you sit there and go, okay, so what out of this is truly great in our mind's eye, and in our ear? And that's what you go with. And then it's left up to everybody else. But, and we can't judge it after that point. We just know that we didn't just sit there and half-ass it. We didn't go, okay, we need a bridge here. Let's go, okay, A, G, D, and go la, 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 and put some lyric in there that means nothing, and there you go, it's done. And we won't do that. Yeah. We never have, and we never will. It just doesn't feel right. Like, there's definitely an integrity and authenticity in everything that we do. Whether people buy it or not, the one thing they can never say is that it's disingenuous.
Yeah. Well, looking to the future, you've got the EPs, the 2 EPs out now, you've got the 3rd EP coming out next year. It's been such a success for you doing the EPs, not just business-wise, personal as well, because it's giving you time off in between EPs, in between tours.
Yeah, plus we can, not to interrupt you, but and we're able to deliver music more frequently, and that's something, and it's not too much, but everything is still fresh, and there's an immediacy and an urgency to it. And that's another big reason too. We go in the studio, we're in there for 2 weeks and we're out, so we're not burnt. We go on a route for 10 months, 12 months. We're not too burnt out, so we can get back together and start writing. You know, back in the day, we would spend, you know, so long writing a record and then going into the studio and for, you know, 2.5 months, and then literally tour between, you know, 16 and 24 months. And then you get home, you know, I remember one tour we left, I was 26, we came home, I was 28, and I was like, holy shit, what happened, you know? And so this way definitely works a lot better, and again, it's a new world, so I think people want newer material more frequently, but just not an overabundance of it.
It's like the 2 chapters that you've done already. It's like a full Skid Row
Yeah.
album. You've got 10 songs, and each one of them are fantastic songs with 4 cover versions on as well. And we've still got another chapter to come as well.
Yeah.
So it's also keeping people eager for what.
I hope so.
for more.
I mean, that's the
Keeping
intent.
hungry for more.
That's the intent. Definitely the intent.
Yeah. So, well, I'm hungry for more. I can't wait until the next chapter. I can't wait to see you tonight.
Thank you.
So, Snake, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It's been Rachel's pleasure as well.
And Rachel's, even though he's got his headphones on.
It's been your pleasure.
Oh, thanks.